Shalom, real quick, giving all praise to Yahweh Bashem Yahshua Bashem Kakodah Shalom to the 144,000 and the rest of you elect out there. Shalom to you all. And I'm going to entitle this video Moab is my wash pot. That's let me get that for you. Verse 8, and then Psalms 108 verse 9. Moab is my wash pot. Over Edom will I cast out my shoe. Philistia, triumph thou because of me. Moab are the Chinese. Though a wash pot is something that you clean dirt. You get dishes or whatever, cups, teacups. You put it in the water in the wash pot. Ancient dishwasher. So you use that pot to put dirty dishes and dirty things in, to clean it out, to purify it. Moab the pot, the Most High will use Moab to clean out, empty out Edom. That's why it says in the next line, it said, over Edom will I cast out my shoe. It says the same exact thing in Psalms 108. The scriptures also say, I will empty her. I can't remember exactly where that is. Empty. Let me put in the word her. Let's see what comes up. Okay, good. Jeremiah. Now I'm familiar with it. I wasn't sure where it was. It says Jeremiah 51 verse 2. And I may even go up to the first verse. Matter of fact, I will go to the first verse. And I'm going to show you how China thinks about America, that they're not going to back down, that this individual that they're interviewing, they said, we've been in power, we've been around for 5,000 years, and we plan to be around another 5,000 years. And in that 5,000 years, there was no such place as America. Trump, it seems like he's having regrets because he's pulling back now. He said he's going to bring tariffs across the board. Then he said there's going to be a 90-day stop, or whatever the term that they use. And certain people made a lot of money. Because if there's a major tariff across the board, a lot of things go under. Stocks go down. People sell off their whatever they invested in. And this same thing happened when you go back to the history of the Rothschilds, how they became super rich. It was dealing with the war during the time period of what's his name, Napoleon. And I keep forgetting Duke Wellington. And they said, they put out a rumor that, we lost to Napoleon. But they really defeated Napoleon. And they exiled him to what's that place? Alba, I think the place is. But they said, we lost the war, so there was a panic. They created a panic, turn around. The Rothschilds sent agents to buy up these stocks. And when everything started going up, they became super, super rich. And they're trillionaires, all right? Elon Musk is not the richest man in the world. He's just middle management. Anyway, so let me read right here. Babylon judged for sins against Israel, for coming against Israel. Thus saith Yahweh, behold, I will rise up against Babylon and against them that dwell in the midst of them that rise up against me, a destroying wind. That's the missiles. When the missiles hit ground zero, you have that hot wind. And that's what that's talking about. That nuclear, I guess, radiation is you're gonna hit ground zero. People are gonna die on the spot, and many other people are gonna die from what comes from that blast when it hits ground zero. But there's gonna be multiple missiles, warheads that's gonna hit every place in this country, Babylon. So you're not going to be able to escape. You know, when all these missiles will hit ground zero, and you're going to die from the actual blast. It says, and will send unto Babylon fanners. I'm going to look that word up. See what the Hebrew word there is. Fanners. The word there is zawar. To be strange, stranger. To become estranged. Estranged. Right, estranged meaning you're put to the side. You're isolated. Another stranger, foreigner, any enemy, loathsome of breath, strange woman, prostitute, harlot. To be estranged, to be a stranger. Be one, alienated. Let's just come on back. Babylon will be alienated. I will send unto Babylon fanners that will fan her. Let me look up the word fan. Let's see if it's a different word. It should be the same Hebrew word. Give me a second. Okay, the word is Zara. Zara. To scatter, fan, cast away. That's all we need on that. Come on back. I'll make this short. And I will. Right, let me read this again. Thus saith Yahweh, behold, I will rise up against Babylon. We know what Babylon is. And against them that dwell in the midst of them, the people that live here, dwell here, that rise up against me, a destroying wind. We know what that is. And will send unto Babylon fanners that shall fan her and shall empty her land. The elements shall melt with fervent heat. For in the day of trouble, what trouble? Jacob's trouble, which Jacob's trouble is also Esau's trouble. We're going to be in trouble, and Esau is going to be in trouble. Because what's going to happen at the end result of Jacob's trouble? The angels are going to come. It says Michael, but it's talking about Yahushua and the angels. So Jacob's trouble is Esau's trouble. For in the day of trouble they shall be against her round about. So let me look up the word empty. Empty her. Financially, this place is going to be empty because of the move that Trump made. Trump better have a change of heart and fix this thing up, because he's going to hurt the American people badly. But he's going to be okay because he's with his super rich buddies. Empty, the word here is bakwak. To empty, lay waste, to make void. This place is going to be made void. After the smoke clears, after the fire subsides and the smoke goes away, clears, it's going to be nothing but desert, an empty land. To be emptied out, devastated. When the missiles hit this place will be utterly destroyed, devastated. Let me look this word up in the... Let me go to Google. Devastate, destroy, or ruin something. The city was, right, the city, Babylon, the city, that great city. The city was devastated by a huge earthquake. Caused someone severe and overwhelming shock or grief. She was devastated by the loss of Damien. Just go down to Cambridge. I have Merriam Dictionary. Merriam-Webster. Devastate, definition and meaning: to bring to ruin or desolation by violent action, thus with violence. The angel took up a great millstone and cast it in the sea. I'm merely paraphrasing, which represents Babylon the Great, and will say, thus with violence shall Babylon be utterly destroyed. I'm merely paraphrasing. I'm not going to go to it. A country devastated by war, Armageddon. The typhoon devastated the island to reduce the chaos, disorder. Cambridge Dictionary. To cause great damage or suffering to someone, something, or someone, or to violently destroy a place. Waves of corporate downsizing has devastated employee morale, and that's what's happening with this with Trump's actions, with his foolhardy actions, his stupid actions. So now let me come over here. And you can read the whole chapter. Let's come back over here to Bakwak. Right, Jeremiah 51. I like to read both 50 and 51. Actually, 49, 50, and 51. But in Jeremiah 50 and 51, which are two chapters that I love, prophetic chapters, and you really got to read the whole. You don't got to read. Well, you can read the whole thing, but from at the 19th verse, it goes into how the Most High is going to establish us to take this man down. But when you read Jeremiah 50, you read that whole chapter. Let me go back. I'm sorry. Let me do this. Jeremiah 50. Jeremiah 50. You got to read that whole chapter. It says how this place is going to be confounded. In the very last verse, it says, "At the noise of the taking of Babylon, the earth is moved, and the cry is heard among the nations." Yeah, the cry in Revelation 18 is these nations are going to be, some of them are going to be happy and some of them are going to be sad because this is a great America, and others are going to be sad because they're not going to make any profit anymore. And them people that say that, they don't realize that we're going to come along, we're going to come back on the earth, and we're going to take over the whole planet Earth and enslave everybody that's of another nation. So give me a second. Let me find this again. Where the hell is it? Okay, here it is right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mute this. Then I'm going to close it. Let me bring it back a little bit more. So this Edomite woman is conducting this interview. This is from Kim Iverson. I didn't know she was still on YouTube, but she's on Roku. So I watch on Roku. So, but she does live shows on Roku. I don't know if she does live shows on YouTube. So it says Kim Iverson show, U.S. is losing the trade war with China. What now? So let me just read what this guy, he represents China, of course. Most of the time, there was no United States, and we survived. And if the United States wants to bully China, we will deal with the situation. Let me go to the beginning, right about here, where we start, because this is the interviewer. Okay, that the United States is not the I'm sorry, let me bring that back. That the United States is not the totality of the market in the world. Yeah, because, and I've been saying this recently, if the Chinese government and all the government's got to, whatever they say, China has to go, the Chinese people have to go with. If they issue a embargo, I'm gonna look that up. I know what it means, but I want to look it up. It's different than a tariff. Embargo, meaning.
Here's the definition of embargo: an official ban on trade or other commercial activity with a particular country.
If China calls for an embargo against the United States, guess what? Anywhere you go, there's going to be empty shelves. Even in your supermarkets. Because there's certain things that come from China or Chinese own, where they manufacture food. But most of your things, your TVs, your automobiles, parts, all your dealer parts come from China. When you go to the Ford dealership, I want the original part. Guess what? On the part, it'll say made in China. The Chinese, they'll make they'll make two types of a particular part. They'll make like a cheaper part for like AutoZone and these discount auto places. Then they'll make the actual dealer part. So it's not like they make one thing, one quality. No, in other words, the more you pay, the better you're going to get. You get what you paid for. Like a starter on a certain car might cost you $500. That's a lot of goddamn money. Or you can go to an AutoZone and maybe get it for $200, which is a good part, but not as good as the $500 or $700 part, the original part. The U.S. does not make it. Well, no, this is a dealer item. Yeah, but the manufacture of that particular part comes from China. So if China calls for an embargo against the United States, and they're not going to really lose because they got other countries. They got Europe. They got other countries. The Europeans are mad at him. This man Trump, the actions that he made, he isolated the U.S. from China at least and the other world because of other parts of the world. So if China called for an embargo, and your starter goes, you better hope your starter goes before the dealership runs out of parts. If there's an ongoing embargo, you better hope your car breaks down inside the next 2 weeks. Because 2 months from now, your car breaks down, you're going to be assed out. You go to the dealer's not going to have it. You go to one of these discount auto places like out here in New York, we got you got O'Reilly's, you got Napa Auto Parts, you got what's this other one I always go to? It's all over the place. Damn, I always go there. Why can't I remember the name? I just passed one. He used to have a Strauss. What's the goddamn? I can't think of it, man. But anyway, you got all these different auto supply stores. They get all that stuff. All that stuff is made in China. The flat screen TVs, the computers, the chips for the computers, whether it be the smartphones. And let's say you get an American-made smartphone. The parts are from Japan. It's probably assembled in Japan. Sometimes it's manufactured in not Japan, China, and then shipped over to Mexico where the Mexicans assembled it. So did not he bring a embargo against them? So if Chinese say no, we're not going to send you anything, the United States is ass out. You're not going to find blenders. You're not going to find mattresses. You're not going to find anything. And then that's going to cause a panic because people are going to rush and buy everything up. Then of course it turns into a black market where you got to pay an exorbitant amount of money. So what this guy did, now maybe his hidden masters, maybe it's, what I believe it is, they're setting this whole thing up to crash the economy to set up a new world order. Everything to go to CBDC. Everything's going to be digital. And then from the CBDC is going to go into eventually go into the chip. And you're going to have to get that chip in order to live, to eat, to go places. You won't be able to have a car because you got to register the car. You got to have the chip to register the car. There it goes, the chip again. These leaders like IUIC's leader and ISUPK's leader, they're going to have a lot of explaining to do. Now, if these guys have a deep spell on these guys and they say they don't decide to tell them that it's the fulfillment of Revelation 13 and 16, and they say go ahead and take it, 90% of them would take it because they're that stupid. Let's come on back. Let me bring this back a little bit. Okay, China will fight to the very end in trade war. China analyst. And you can feel the anger in his. You can hear the anger if you listen to it. I want you to listen to it. Kim Iverson, like I said, put up 5 hours ago, so it's the newest video. We're losing the tariff war with China. How our elites sold us out. It's not that is not the totality of the market in the world. So if the United States wants to go in that direction to completely shutting, I'm sorry to bring this back. Of completely shutting out of the China market, be my guest. Go ahead, do what you want to do, because you're going to lose in the end. They're going to work out some deal. You know, Trump will most likely reverse himself. He might have to go take a trip and kiss Xi Ping, whatever his name is. Xi Jinping. You might have to kiss his proverbial ass, because the fulfillment of Revelation 18 won't come to pass, because they're gonna, when the missiles come, they're gonna be involved in trade. So something will work out. Shutting off out of China market. Be my guest. Yeah, and China will lose the U.S. market. Now this is what she said, but China will lose the U.S. market. Like it's going to hurt you. So let's see what he says. Let me see. I'm sorry. The China market. Be my guest. Yeah, and China will lose the U.S. market, which, as I've said, is 15%. Okay, that's 15%. You got the rest of the world. We don't care. We don't care. They're angry. They're angry. See, Trump didn't know that this was going to happen. These other countries, they capitulated, and China didn't. China said, no, okay, we're going to see how far this thing goes. Look, our system is 5,000 years old. Your system is not even 300 years, not even 250 years. It's 249 years old. China has been here for 5,000 years. Most of the time, there was no United States survived. I'm sorry, bring this back. There was no United States, and we survived. And if the United States wants to bully China, that's when you go into the term hegemony, bully on the block, I call it. That's why you have what's called the world reserve currency, which is America. It went from Great Britain to America after World War II. It's also known as a petrodollar. When you buy oil, let's say Germany wants to buy oil from Iran, they would have to take the German Deutschmark, turn it over to US dollar, and pay with US dollars or Federal Reserve notes to Iran. Then they take the US dollars and they flip it from the Iranian currency back to the Iranian currency. So there's a middleman, and that's the US. So when you hear petrodollars, talking about world reserve currency, that you got to do when you do exchange with other countries, you got to filter it through the Federal Reserve note. So now you have the BRICS, and they're talking about having their own money system, but everything's going to be digital. We will deal with the situation without the United States and we expect to survive for another 5,000 years. Well, they'll survive in slavery. China wants a deal. It just doesn't know how to how to go about it. They're proud people. J.D. Vance, which is the vice president, look at what he called them. J.D. Vance talked about Chinese peasants. They're just peasants. But those peasants can shut you the fuck down. What do you make of their, in this respect? If J.D. Vance thinks that he's dealing with the peasants in China, and I'm proud to be a descendant of the peasants. Most of us are descendants of the peasants anyway. That's our tradition. We are farmers before. That's what the Great Leap Forward was all about. To modernize China. Remember I told you in a previous video that Nixon got off of the gold standard in 1971 and 1972. He had a meeting, a famous meeting, where he went to China and met with the premier of China, which was Mao at that time. And that was to open China to these United States based businesses over there for cheap labor. It was all about cheap labor. He said that we're mostly farmers. So the Great Leap Forward was, you can't farm no more because we got to get you to work in these factories for next to nothing. See, Trump is talking about bringing the all these companies back to America. It ain't gonna work because in China they get paid weekly. They get paid $100 a week, U.S. In order for you to get people to work in these factories, bust their ass, you're gonna have to pay them. You're gonna have to start them off with $50 an hour. So if you pay them $50 an hour, you give them certain benefits, medical benefits, whatever, vacation, whatever perks that come with it. That's way more than $50 an hour. That might be $75 an hour with all the extra things. Someone gets hurt on the job, insurance. So what's going to happen, and it's going to take years to build these factories back in the U.S., you know? So now let's say once everything is built, when Americans go back to work at the starting point of $50 and certain benefits, certain perks, those things that they build, the prices are going to go up sky high. So no matter what you do, what Trump has to do is go over there and have a meeting and kiss this guy's ass to get in good standards with them. China's got the U.S. by the balls. So this guy J.D. Vance, and he just says whatever comes to his mind. He went before it was NATO and EU. I believe he went to NATO and he started cursing them out. But now we are one of the leading industries, and that's truth. That's true. Korea manufactures a lot of things. The what is it called? The LG. At one time it was Sony out of Japan. The number one flat screen smart TV you can get is an LG, and that's a Korean company. Your Hyundais, your Kias, and then you got the Japanese market, and the Chinese cars are fucking crazy, man. There's one car, that it can turn. You can hit a button, and you can make the car just turn 180 degrees or 360 degrees, and you can make the car jump. Let me see if I got that video. There's Jake was in the car. Give me a second here. Okay, I believe this is it. Bear with me for a minute. Let me bring this over here.
So, just a few days ago, the internet was buzzing.
Like a relentless weed, moderate to severe ulcerative colitis symptoms can keep coming back.
So,
okay, this is what I want. If this is the same video. This Jake. Give me a second here. Okay, this is Jake. He goes to test drive this car, and the guy shows him what this car could do. This is another goddamn commercial. Bear with me for a minute, y'all. I gotta watch the rest of this. Give me a second. Give me a second. Hold on. Hold tight. I guess you can start around here. Anyway, this car can do what American cars can't do. If this is it, okay, yeah, this got to be it. And I haven't even watched the whole thing. BYD U9 is BYD is a Chinese car manufacturer, vehicle manufacturer, and if they flood the market in America, they'll totally bankrupt Tesla and all these other electric cars. They got a car that can go anywhere from 800 to 1,000 miles on one charge, and it takes 5 minutes to recharge your car. America can't compete. That's why he has those tariffs. Because he figures he's going to make more money out of them. Because they're going to be cheaper to begin with. But the Chinese said, F you. We don't need you. We've been around for 500 years. And we plan to be around for another 500 years. So he better put that chapstick on and get ready to kiss ass. And sometimes you got to kiss a little ass. We were farmers before. A farmer is a peasant. But now we are one of the leading industrialized economies in the world. These people are living like the kingdom of heaven, like in Taiwan, those Vietnam, those areas. You got a lot of people, U.S. citizens that go to these places in the Orient, man. So I'm sorry, J.D. Vance doesn't know what he's talking about. What he's talking about. And therefore, I don't think there will be a China-U.S. dialogue unless the United States changes, kiss ass, its attitude toward China. Deal with China. So Trump will have to go to China, or the president could go to the U.S., but I see Trump going to him, because that would be a sign of weakness for the president of China to come to America. He has to do something, man, because they ain't playing. Show respect to the Chinese people, and don't try to impose your prejudice and was biased views about China. Yeah, like J.D. Vance. He's always talking shit about somebody. You hardly ever see him. Then when he says something, he's talking shit about somebody. He called the Chinese. You don't call the Chinese peasants. Oh, they're peasants. Like I said, if they call for an embargo, the U.S. is done. So look forward to a meeting that's going to happen. Anyway, I wanted to make this short. It got a little long, and I got to watch the rest of this video. With that, I'm going to say shalom on to the next shalom.